Yes Have Some podcast is brought to you by Carnivorous Creations, your one-stop shop for all of your Proton Pack building needs. If you're in the market for a Proton Pack, head to carnivorouscreations.com. That's carnivorous with a K. You're going to find aluminum motherboards, resin parts, fiberglass shells, and a whole lot more. Find them on Facebook at Carnivorous Creations or head straight to carnivorouscreations.com, remember carnivorous with a K, and get started on an authentic, screen-accurate Proton Pack.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I?
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
We got one!
It's time for another episode of Yes Have Some podcast.
Look at, I'm in really bad shape. Come on, please, please.
Your weekly pop culture therapy session.
Give me. I need.
Subscribe on iTunes by searching for Yes Have Some in the iTunes store or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/YesHaveSomeCast.
Sick vandalism. That is a deliberate mutilation of a public service message.
And now, hold on to your butts and get ready to get stressed with your hosts, Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, and Jacob Walsh.
We're mutants. There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 55 of Yes Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you so much for joining us. We are back.
Yes, after 2 weeks.
We're back.
We're better for it.
It wasn't like a planned week off. We just had a busy week.
It's a sabbatical.
We had stuff to do.
We had things going on.
It was a whirlwind.
Was it?
Yeah, for me. I feel like this was like the craziest 10 days of my life or more, so.
Not crazier than driving across the country and going to Colorado. And
somehow more crazy.
Abigail
Concerts
Gardner.
And weddings.
How are you?
I'm great.
Cool.
I literally I feel amazing. This has been, like I said, one of the best weeks. I've seen friends. I have seen movies that I've been waiting what feels like a lifetime for. I bought toys and seen, like I said, friends. Like so many people that I'm usually just interacting with on the internet, I was able to see face-to-face this week at a wedding. We were able to go to dinner with our friends Andrew Schaefer and his wife Tiffany. They were here for Romantic Times Convention, which is like a book convention for like the romantic fans of that genre. And
wait, hold on.
Fans of romance.
Sad I missed out on
Who's
this.
romantic?
I am too.
The fans or the books?
Dude, everyone's romantic.
You said romantic
From what
fans.
they've said, everybody gets
I'm
romantic.
guessing it's not the fans.
Yes.
What I hear, though.
Friend of Yes Have Some podcast, Andrew Schaefer, author of Ghosts from Our Past.
Mm-hmm. How to Survive a Sharknado. And
He's got a book coming out.
all around awesome dude. Yeah, super fun to hang out with. We got pizza, and he gave me a Simpsons Stephen King action figure, action doll, which is what we called it the whole time we hung out, which is great. And the figure, it's actually hard to find. It's kind of expensive on eBay. So.
Yeah, they were going for like $60, $70.
Yeah, he said he had it laying around his house, and I totally appreciate it and was really pumped to get that. He also gave me a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Dairy Queen cube. So that was even more valuable in my book.
When he gave that to you, I was at first thinking like, oh, this is some sort of promotional item that they're giving out. But no, it was just like from the table. It was just like an advertisement.
He snagged it, though.
It was trash.
Yeah.
He gave you some trash.
I know, but I collect trash. So I like that he gave me that. I posted a picture today because we actually went to Dairy Queen and we got the Guardians of the Galaxy Blizzard, which is not in a collectible cup. I was kind of bummed out. Anyway, I took a picture with the cardboard cutout of all the of Gamora and Star-Lord and Rocket and Baby Groot, and Andrew posted
and Andrew
a comment
Schaefer,
saying,
the other Guardian.
No, but he said that he wanted to take that cardboard cutout instead of the cube, but he passed. I was like, dude, I wish you had.
Now, what is the Guardians of the Galaxy Blizzard?
Dude,
it's very delicious.
It's apparently supposed
What's
to be like tree bark.
this?
Yeah, it's like a vanilla Blizzard mixed with
Caramel.
Yeah, caramel bits, brownies, and cookies.
I think it's Brookies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shark Tank's own Brookie
Sure.
makes an appearance in the Blizzard. It's so good,
It
guys.
was delicious. It was very good.
We literally were listening to the soundtrack, pulling into the Dairy Queen. It was very romantic. I felt like I was at Romantic Times, so it was very special.
I felt like I was at Dairy Queen, the College Park Dairy Queen.
It's a good Dairy Queen, though. It's classic.
I was looking
It's
at
not been
Dairy
remodeled.
Queen.
Is it?
I noticed
It
that
is.
some of the Dairy Queens are called like Dairy Queen Brazier.
What?
What?
That's not it. Bar and
Razor?
Grill?
I don't know.
A what?
A brie? Is this
It's
a word
called
that
a
you're
date.
making up? Wait, like a
You're making
brasserie?
it
Isn't
up.
that like a French restaurant? Like a...
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher the pronunciation.
I think you might have been
There's
looking
no
at
way.
something completely different.
Maybe I was looking at the programming for the Romantic Times convention.
They probably had a little something.
Braziers.
Yes. I'd go to that
Front
panel.
snaps or back snaps?
It's so hard when it's in the front, so...
The man's ear or the
Yes.
bro.
Yes. Oh, guys. Top of the muffin to ya.
Jacob Walsh.
Yes.
What's up, man?
I'm here. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Abby, I like how you were like seeing movies that I've been wanting to see, and I was like, do you mean movies as in just the same movie multiple times?
Yes. Yeah. That's movies. That's movies to me. Yeah.
It's been a good week. We've seen Guardians, which we're going to talk about, and let's together the three of us. Let's just say congratulations to our friend Michael Koski, who got married this weekend.
Yes.
We all got to hang out.
The Georgia
and,
Ghostbusters reunion.
The Georgia
Yes.
Ghostbusters reunion. Yeah, everybody was there. It was cool. It was some good times.
Dude,
Almost everybody was
got
there.
to see Jake in a
Almost,
suit.
yeah. I was in a tux. I had to wear a tuxedo.
That was neat.
Did you guys see that? Did
what
you,
did that
were you
feel
guys there?
like?
We were there. We put up
Very weird.
and then Jake and I got married.
Yes.
Yep, me and Craig got married. It was very.
I
It was
performed the ceremony.
Very classy.
It
very
was.
classy.
Jake had a taco in his pocket.
I had multiple
Pocket
tacos in my
taco?
pockets. Yep.
Hey,
I did.
Dude,
Yeah.
Jake had like 35 tacos on him at one point. It was amazing. I ate like 15 vegan cookies in a row, and I think I danced for like an hour. Just not on the floor by myself in the corner.
With that little kid.
It's like a stand dance that I do, like just from one foot to the next. So
it's good.
It's like
I
gotta
dance like
pee.
Gamora. Well, maybe a little better. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Well, we'll
fancy
see what
myself a
happens.
pretty good dancer.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah, that was fun. It was fun to see everybody. Like Abby said, it's we all interact with each other on an everyday basis on social media, but it's not often we can all get together, especially outside of like a convention.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that was fun. And then, Guardians of the Galaxy is out. It's in the world. It's making a lot of money. I think 145 million domestic opening weekend. The first one opening weekend, I think, made like 95 million. So it's safe to say that I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be successful. What do you guys think?
I think they're doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're okay. I will say that before the movie, we were treated to do a couple of trailers. We saw the Spider-Man trailer. We saw the new Thor trailer. And then, Jake, did you see that new Wonder Woman trailer?
I did not. I haven't seen that yet. I didn't. Was that in front of your movie?
It was. It was.
Oh, it
And
wasn't. It wasn't in mine.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah?
It looks real bad.
God damn it. Dude, it ends on like a bad joke and
Does it? Oh
Yeah.
man, I haven't even watched it.
It's just...
Because you know why? Because I don't give a shit.
yeah.
I feel like I don't either, although they're going to still get my money. Because
Yeah. I'm going to go see it with high hopes and stuff and maybe some of the action shots. I know that she looks great when she's fighting and all that, but yeah, I just already have a lot of reservations.
It just looks really drab and boring. Like, even, like...
Drab, boring, and polished in all the wrong ways. Because that's what I was like musing about today at lunch. Was I feel like all the shots of when she's in training on her. And forgive me, because like I don't know everything about Wonder Woman. I'm just saying as like a female
do.
watching women in combat. Like I feel like they should be like more scratched up and weathered and beat up, and maybe their hair shouldn't be fucking perfect. Although aren't they like almost deities? So like maybe they should always look perfect.
I think so. Yeah, I
It
think
stresses me out because like I just feel like maybe
They're not human.
I'm complaining before already seeing it, but whatever. Maybe
It's
it'll blow
fine.
my mind. Maybe they'll be super tough and awesome, and like we'll figure out how the fuck she has that sword in her like prom dress when she goes out to that dinner in that one scene.
Oh, Jake, did you see that picture going around on Reddit today?
No.
There's a picture of so I guess there's a scene in the trailer where you see like Wonder Woman from behind. She's wearing like a backless dress, and you see her sword coming up from the
hilt,
like
between her shoulder blades.
between her shoulders, and then there's a diagram under it where she's just holding the sword between her ass
The
cheeks.
blade. Yeah, it's like a college hazing thing. It's cool.
I was
Maybe
like,
that's what's
Gal
happening.
don't hurt yourself over there.
Man, that's a double-edged joke.
Oh.
God.
God.
I hope that movie's good. Whatever. We'll go see it.
Yeah.
Actually, If it's bad, I'll just go see Volume 2 again. That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
When's it come out?
Couple weeks.
Look that up.
Yeah, cool.
We've got Alien
Fact check.
Covenant coming out in 2 weeks, and then
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the next big release is Wonder Woman.
Right.
So we got a lot coming up. And
Yeah, the 24th is Alien. June 2nd is Wonder Woman.
there you go.
There you go.
Well, cool. So thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. We're going to be getting to our Guardians of the Galaxy
Full spoiler review.
full spoiler review, although I'm sure everybody's seen it by now.
Yeah.
Anybody who's listening to this, I'm guessing you've seen it, right? That'd be weird to listen to the Yes Have Some podcast knowing we're going to spoil it. I had a guy at work come up to me the other day and
Maybe
say,
you're a sadist. I don't know.
this guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, I just listened in. I was listening to your podcast last night." I go, "Oh, cool. Was it our last episode?" He's like, "No. The episode you guys did on the Lost World." I was like, "Oh,
Whoa. Deep cuts.
that was a deep cut."
That was a deep cut.
So it reminded me to let everyone know, if you're a new listener to Yes Have Some, go back, check out the old stuff.
You have
It's
to
like
go
the
back.
Beatles, you know? It's a little bit more poppy, right? A little bit more overproduced.
With a different drummer.
When we first started the podcast, I think our second and third episodes, we just decided to review all the Jurassic Parks.
Yeah, they were all Jurassic Park.
And I
yeah.
think Jake was sitting on the couch with us for one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for I think the second one, yeah, we did that at your house.
So those are fun episodes. So I would definitely recommend going out and checking those out if you haven't seen those. Seen them, watched them. No,
Don't watch them. Just listen.
Listen to
Watch the movie before and then listen.
and then listen.
Or reverse order, whatever. I guess it doesn't matter.
If you've never seen Jurassic Park, don't even watch it. Just listen to our review.
It's just
That's
as
the best
good.
way to do it, yeah.
Cool. I think that's all our housekeeping notes. What do you guys think? Is there any other pertinent information you guys wanted to get
No.
off your chest?
Firehouse, we're giving that away, so
Ghostbusters Firehouse.
Were we doing that? When are we doing that?
Well, we'll have an announcement on Facebook in the next 24 hours.
it's been a lot of compiling of names. There's
yeah.
been so many submissions.
We had
so.
a ton of submissions. We had over 3,000 people enter this contest. So I was about to say,
Hey, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for entering.
yeah, it's
Thanks
really
for
cool.
hashtagging.
yeah,
It
for
was-
sure.
Jake, I was talking to Abby about earlier about how we all have our roles. I'm ultra positive, and Abby is ultra cynical, and
Wait,
Jake's,
am I ultra? When did I get to be the ultra cynical one?
you
am I?
are
Jake's the crank.
Jake's cranky.
Am I cranky?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Uncle Cranky.
I'm laughing because Uncle Cranky.
I thought I was the heart of the Ghostbusters.
I was about to say we were so overwhelmed and thrilled with how many people entered the contest.
Jake,
Jake goes,
Well, my that noise came from more of. See, my thought process was more like, you have to sit here and compile all these names now.
Yeah.
and that seems like a chore.
It is a chore.
One of the last times
chore.
we made the post on Facebook, somebody left a comment. It was like, "This is the third time I entered. Hope that's okay." And I was like,
Nope, disqualified.
disqualified, DQ, not Dairy Queen,
Oh, so
not
we
the
got
Brazier.
a blizzard. A brazier.
And I guess we should also note that if we're talking about Ghostbusters toys, we might as well let everyone know that next week the Ghostbusters Playmobil sets are going to be in stores.
Oh no!
I'm about to get so
Forgot
jealous.
about those.
You can pre-order them now on Amazon and get them delivered right to your door. They're really not too pricey. I think the Firehouse is $70 or $80, and then it kind of goes down from there. Some of the smaller sets are like $10, $12. So I think for about $160 you can get the entire set. So that's pretty cool.
That's easy.
It's gonna happen.
And then there was a bunch of news this week.
It's inevitable.
We can't not buy them. There was for the Las Vegas Licensing Expo, there was some papers filed for future events, and there was a logo going around for the Ghostbusters 35th anniversary, which is not until 2019. So we're 2 years away. We're 2 years away from the 35th anniversary. I only know that because I'll also be 35.
Okay.
But the logo was kind of based on the animated Ghostbusters logo, and people were getting really excited. Ghost Corps did put out a statement that said, "Hey, this was kind of slapdash thrown together. This is not the official 35th anniversary logo. More to come." So
I like it though. It looks cool.
it did look
Looking
cool.
it up right now.
Yeah.
It did look cool. And
that's cute, yeah.
I kind of was like, I wish that was the 35th anniversary logo. Maybe they'll still use that. I like that a little bit more than like the modern chromed out Ghostbusters logo.
I like it fuzzy and nostalgic, with that haze, much more so than like the sheen, the sheen. Almost like automotive, like
the Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I don't need that.
So yeah, Eric, if you're listening, keep the logo,
dude. Love it.
Keep it. Yeah, we like it.
Very nice.
I'm glad that they put out a statement because I was really close to emailing Eric and asking for a high res. He would have probably been like, "Hey, dipshit, read the Facebook post." Like, so. No, he would have said that. He's a nice human being.
Dude, no.
There you go.
He's so nice.
So, yeah, I feel like that's all the Ghostbusters updates. You guys ready to get some stress?
Man, let's do it.
Ooh, cool. The stress has been building for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Lots of stress.
Gotta let it out. You look a little stressed.
Is this some radical new therapy?
Why don't you do something with your life? Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Cool. Jake.
You gonna make me go first?
I'm not gonna make you go first.
You're gonna make me.
Gotta go into the gray water.
I'll do it. Ew.
Ew.
Dipshit. Did you call
moi
a dipshit?
Why'd you
go
cry?
for it, Jake.
You guys just went right into
why
that
do you
little
cry?
bit.
Well, Terminator 2 3D's coming out in a couple months for the 25th anniversary. I'm trying to get my John Connor situation going.
Yeah, that trailer's out. Hey, did you, I don't know if, speaking of Terminator, I don't know if you saw, there's an article on crack.com, and it's, so there was like an Easter egg, like I think in the special features of Predator or something like that.
Okay.
And it carried on to the video games, like the Predator video games and the Alien versus Predator video games. And I'm not going to go into the entire thing, but essentially this article proves that the character Dutch from Predator was the human that the Terminator is based on. It like links the worlds together.
That's interesting.
And it sounds really silly, and I don't think anything's like officially confirmed, but there's like a good number of like things that point to it. That like it makes sense when you read the article and you see all the little things that they threw in both franchises and the video games that you're like, oh wait, it completely makes sense. So you should go crack.com and check that out.
Well, also if Terminator and Predator are the same universe, that would also mean that it's the same universe as Aliens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
and I'm pretty sure there's been a Terminator Aliens like crossover as far as like comic books. So.
Right.
And also, a lot of people don't realize that Carl Weathers in what is he in Predator 2? Mm-hmm. He was it the first or second Predator Carl Weathers was in?
Carl Weathers is in the first one.
Oh, he's in the first one. That's actually the same character as Apollo Creed from Rocky.
And Arrested Development.
Where he plays himself. So
it's just one big.
So what I'm saying is,
universe.
And since they made a modern day Creed update with his son, we need Michael B. Jordan versus a Terminator. That's what I'm getting at.
They're making a new Terminator right now.
Yeah, it's going to be called Terminator Creed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Creed, the band's going to do the songs.
Oh my God. I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Guys, let me go write this fan fiction real quick.
Yeah, let's stop the show. Just
my arms
pause
are wide
everything
open
right now. Let's just do this.
Just imagine, so it's the scene from
Chapter 1.
It's the scene from Terminator 2 where you see Sarah Connor like grabbing the fence, screaming at those children.
Yeah.
But it cuts away and it's not children. It's just Creed playing a song. And she's like, no, stop.
It's terrible. Take me higher. It's pretty good. Guys, I loved Creed. I have memories of sitting like in the back of my parents' car just getting so excited when they would come on the radio and just loving it.
I would get excited when they were off the radio. Like when the
it was
song
over?
ended. That's when I got most of those.
Yeah. And then I realized that they weren't that good.
They're not that good.
Took
They're
a couple
actually
years.
real bad.
Actually not as good.
Real bad.
Real bad, man.
Real bad.
Hey, Jake.
King of the world.
What are you stressed about?
Man, I got a couple things here. It's been 2 weeks, so I got like a list going of just, stress after stress here. But the first thing that is I think the most important to me is that on Sunday, the MTV like movie awards happened, which I didn't even think that was still a thing. I'm not even sure that I knew MTV was still a thing,
or just cable in general.
Just what is it? Yes,
Right.
but anyway, so it happened, and the night before, they had said like, hey, there's going to be an exclusive. They were like, fans of it should watch. There's going to be something, and I figured like, oh, it's probably just going to be a clip, and it was. They released like a minute long clip, and it's kind of cut like a trailer. It's like multiple scenes, but you can't call it a trailer. But we got some new footage from it, and we got a little bit of a couple of the losers having a conversation, which is really nice. We get to hear Richie. We get to hear Eddie.
Jokes.
Yeah, we get some jokes and some voices. It's very cool, and we
Some
get
swear words.
Yeah, we get what we want. It's not. I read an article today that was like, you know what, the new clip isn't all just like scares. It gives you more of like the kids, the tone, what you're gonna see as far as like the interactions, and that's what we needed to see because that's what you don't get in a trailer. So it was cool. We got some cool stuff. We got a cool shot of Pennywise that we haven't seen. Still not giving away too much, which is good. I would be happy. I would be happy now not seeing anything else until the movie comes out. I know they're going to release a second trailer, and I might skip out on it because
that's a lie. You will definitely not do that, Jake. Just I want to clarify for our audience.
Jake's watching it.
I don't want to. I don't want too much. The first trailer was good. It didn't give too much away. It showed us a little bit of what we're going to see. I kind of don't want to hear Pennywise until I see it.
Right.
I don't know. Like, it's like part of me wants to see it. Part of me wants to hear it. Part of me wants to just like, just go in with what I've seen and that's it.
Well, what I like
coming
about
from someone like me who just abstained from listening to the entire soundtrack from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I can attest that it's worth waiting and holding out.
And
True
sometimes
love
it's hard
waits.
to do. I try to do that with a lot of movies, but like with something like this, it's going to be hard for me to not watch anything.
Yeah, and
Dude, I'm going to watch everything. It gets me really excited, but I understand your perspective.
So what I love about what I'm seeing so far with it is that I think the marketing for this movie is going to be very reserved compared to what we see in a lot of modern day movies and modern day horror. There was an article this week that is already predicting that it will be the highest grossing horror weekend like maybe ever.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So they
Dude, like the fact that it's on MTV, like the movie awards, the kids are walking out there and it's like it's all over Instagram and like, what was it? Not Jimmy Fallon. It was, Jimmy Kimmel that had like the cut with like all the balloons that he was holding over. No, never mind. That's not Jimmy Kimmel. That was, during the MTV Movie Awards.
That was during the
But like, the fact that it's like a part of pop culture, and Craig, you were pointing out that it's probably because of the nostalgia draw from the miniseries. But like, I just feel like in general, it's such a solid fucking trailer, and people are really excited about the movie because it looks terrifying and it looks well done. And like,
but it does have all the elements. It's what people. So right now, what this movie has going for it is it's a Stephen King movie, right? So that has a built-in audience. B, horror movies like this, like every year there's some horror movie that does exceptionally well. That's kind of, and we've had our issues with those movies in the past, but like I can't even think. What's the name of the movie that everybody loves and Jake hates? Can't even think of it.
Every
Conjuring?
movie?
Yeah, The Conjuring, like those movies.
jump scares, yeah.
Jump scares. So it's already, and it's coming out around Halloween, so it's got all that going for it. It looks very well done. It definitely has that Stranger Things type vibe, which everybody's kind of going for right now. And when I say Stranger Things vibe, I mean kids in the 80s, and like it's well done. Like
acting like actual kids, like playing off of each other the way that they were in that sewer scene, and like rolling their eyes and like being silly, and like the dialogue felt supernatural and like completely unstunted and like very normal.
And the last thing
which is what Stranger Things felt like too. So
the nostalgia piece, which is like everybody, like everybody from like diehard movie fans to horror fans to like casual like moviegoers, like everybody remembers it and has fond memories of it. Like, oh my god, that used to scare me as a child, or oh my god, like I can't wait to see what the updated version is.
But people who read Stephen King, it's like one of the most beloved books, like if not the most. So there's that connection too.
It is for sure.
So all this movie has to do is be pretty good, and it's going to be extremely successful. But
And it looks faithful as fuck to the book. What's her name? Betty Ripscomb, the name that like was written inside the shoe, like that's right out of the book. So this shit's like, it's right in the verse. They're being respectful.
It is, yeah. And another thing that I haven't thought about too much, it's something that kind of popped in my head recently when I was talking with someone, is that so there's a lot of Stephen King happening right now. We've talked about it a lot. Yeah. But you know, there's a couple, the Dark Tower and It are coming out like I believe like within a month of each other. And if these movies do well, which I think It is going to, I don't know about Dark Tower, but I think It is going to do well. And if they both do good, if either one makes a lot of money, I feel like it's going to be, you know how like Hollywood is and how movies are these days. If something latches on, that's what you do. We'll make more of that kind of stuff.
Oh, they like Stephen King? Yeah, exactly.
So like, what if these movies do well and they're like, hey, let's make some more Stephen King adaptations. Let's remake some more. You know, they remade Carrie a couple years ago, but that was not good.
That shit
I don't know
bad.
if you saw that. It was not good.
That was the first one I thought of when you said that, Jake. I was like, dude, yeah, let's see a faithful.
Well, the thing that pops in my head is like, so It is one of the big ones. Like everyone loves It, but like, what is probably, you know, like if you think about right now, what's the most popular best movie based on a Stephen King work? I think it would probably be The Shining.
Yeah, I would agree.
And Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining is not very much like the book. I would be so into like a new version of The Shining, rated R, you know, a movie, not a miniseries, a movie based on the book.
Yeah, let's see Tony.
What if that happens? Like, what if these two movies do well and we start seeing, you know, the versions? There's a lot of Stephen King adaptations out there. Some of them are very good. A lot of them are bad. Like I'd be into seeing new ones. You know, new adaptations of things we've already seen.
If there's 3 Stephen King movies that deserve proper, well done remakes, it's Stand By Me, The Green Mile, and Shawshank Redemption. Those 3 movies, I can't. It's like
they did what they could.
You don't even want to tell anyone you're watching.
It's embarrassing. It's guilty pleasure.
No, in all seriousness, I could totally see like Pet Sematary coming down the map. But probably did Stephen King do Children of the Corn?
Yeah,
a short story.
It's a short story. Yeah.
We'll probably see some of that. We'll probably see, you know.
They're remaking Firestarter. I don't know if you saw that. It came out.
That's on my list.
I haven't seen or read Firestarter, but
you're right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what happens
remade.
if these movies are successful. They're just gonna and I don't think Stephen King's very shy about letting filmmakers tackle his work. Like it's
he's a fan of film. That's why he writes. That's why he started, because he used to go to fucking horror movies as a kid, and like that's what inspired him to write the crazy fucked up shit that he does. So yeah, I think he obviously like did he try his hand directing and all that shit. So he's writing screenplays.
Yeah, he directed one movie. Yeah.
Yes, which I haven't seen. Yeah, dude, I was making my Stephen King list of the books that I have, that I've read, that I need to read today. I know I sent you that list, and like it's exciting to think that if movie studios are picking up any scrap of Stephen King because it'll make them money, and then like making it well, and that's what's going to happen. That sounds great. So
hey, you guys know that meme that's been going around with It in the sewer, and it's like, and then it cuts to the kid jumping down the sewer. And my buddy just sent me one, and it's got It, and it says Bernie is president down here. Then it's me jumping down the sewer. It's pretty funny. Politics.
Hey, speaking of
politics.
Speaking of books that you have and you've read, Abby, another thing that was on my list is that they also released a new clip for the Mist TV show.
Yes.
And you just finished reading that, right?
Oh, no, we haven't. So yes, I just watched that clip.
Yeah, we've talked about The Mist before, and it looks nothing like it's nothing like the
short
book.
story, right?
But it still looks good, and the clip is just a bunch of like, it looks like they just put a whole bunch of death scenes or gore scenes together. It's just like, like clip after clip of people getting killed by things.
Yeah, and the mist like taking over their minds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a totally different. That was a departure from the way the mist interacted, I think, in the short story, which took me way longer to finish than I wanted to. By the way, it took me like, I swear to God, like 3 weeks to finish like 100 and fucking whatever 80 pages or something.
I mean, sometimes that happens.
Sometimes you get busy. Yeah, no, it's cool. It was a great story. It reminded me of like J.J. Abrams and like Lost at its best, where you have like the real monsters or the people within the supermarket, not so much the supernatural forces outside. And like, I love that stuff. It's all great. Like, I love the thinking like that goes behind once you're inside that supermarket. Like, how do you survive once the power is out, and what supplies do you take, and getting your little bag of groceries for your big escape plan, and like all that stuff was great, and I loved it. And like the father-son relationship reminds me of Danny and Jack Torrance a little bit. And, like, I like that stuff, and I really enjoyed the story. And yeah, I'd love to see a cool adaptation. That trailer for it's Spike TV, correct? That's putting this out. The TV series. It looks very graphic and gratuitous, and maybe it'll be great. I don't know. I want to watch the movie that was made in 2007.
The movie, watch the movie. The movie's amazing.
Apparently, that's amazing,
the show. I'm gonna watch the show. It looks interesting, and I'm kind of glad that it's doing its own thing. It's when they first started talking about it, they mentioned Fargo, how it's gonna kind of be that. It's similar to the book.
Theme, tone.
It's the same kind of theme, but it will be a completely different story. And that's good. Yeah. And I think the reason that that's so good is because that movie that you're just talking of, I think that movie is perfect. It's one of my top favorite movies. It's one of, if not my favorite Stephen King adaptation. It's amazing.
The guy who directed it went on to do The Walking Dead, correct?
Yeah,
Frank,
he also directed The Green Mile and
terrible. Yeah, there you go.
Shawshank.
Right.
Yeah, and he's a big Stephen.
And that's
he's a big Stephen King fan.
I'm actually a little bit worried about watching The Mist, even though Jake likes it, because the same guy did direct The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption.
Terrible.
As we know,
huge flops.
I'm just kidding.
Big disappointment.
Why is that joke so funny to me? Because it's
you're sticking to your guns.
I'm going to get a T-shirt
Beatles,
that says
"Hate Stephen King."
Shawshank Redemption is
Star
garbage.
Wars.
That's going to be my T-shirt. It's just going to offend people.
God.
Cool, Jake. What else, man?
Dude, so I'm one more Stephen King thing, and then I'm going to shut up about Stephen King. But there was a Stephen King art show that opened on Sunday. It was a Gallery 1988, and for the last couple weeks they've been posting like teases. If you like search Instagram tags, you can like see the artists post like a glimpse of their print, and I've just been like, what am I gonna do? Should I just kill myself, or
that's it?
I don't know what to do, because it's gonna be ridiculous. And it opened on Sunday, and there were like 6 pages of things. Like part of me was like, I hope a lot of it's not good, so I won't want it. And it's weird because like Gallery 88 is pretty good. They've done a lot of great stuff. They've done a lot of great shows. But like looking through the Stephen King art, there's some really good stuff, and then there's some stuff that I'm like, well, whose friend, like who let that in the show? It's like some stuff where I'm like, did they just need something real quick? But I got a couple pieces.
Well, that's what you wanted, though. You didn't want to have to buy it. So.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to buy everything. So there was some cool stuff in there. I got a couple pieces, and the thing that bummed me out the biggest, though, is beforehand I was like, okay, what do I want the most out of this art show? And the thing that I wanted was like, I want a print based on The Shining, but like without Jack Nicholson. Like I want it based on the book. And there was one, and I love it. But when everything went on sale, for some reason or another, they didn't make prints of that one. You could only just buy the original. So that bummed me out that I couldn't get that. But There was a lot of cool stuff. So there was Stephen King art show.
I'm literally getting bummed out right now because the Bard of Horror with like Stephen King dressed up as Shakespeare
oh my God, I wanted
amazing.
that. I wanted that.
Also, the one that's labeled Carrie Queen, that's like looks like a Dairy Queen covered with the strawberry sauce, is amazing. That's by Anna Tillett. Dude, I want that so bad.
There were a couple really silly ones that I was like, I had to like juggle. I had to like sit here and be like, okay, well, I like this, but like, do I just want serious kind of prints? Do I want these like silly? There's a bunch of things where I'm like, well, maybe I'll come back later and buy some more or something.
Yeah. No, I know. We do that too. I sometimes go for like the sillier, more cartoon stuff, and, you know, Craig wants to keep it classy.
Yeah, I ended up making like 2 different orders because I have that like mentality of buying these Mondo prints. So like they opened the show, everything goes on sale, and I like ran through everything quick, put a couple things in my shopping cart, and I bought.
Copy paste.
I just fucking bought it, and then I went back and I was like, well, I want this too, and I just did another order, and then I had to have them like combine shipping, and it's like that shit. A lot of that shit is still available. You know, I don't think anything I got is sold out. So, but it's
the thrill of the pick and the hunt and the search and like getting on it while it's happening.
I was like in a tuxedo at the wedding that day, like trying to. I'm just like, what the fuck? It was Saturday,
dude.
Yeah, Saturday.
Well, you had a lot of tacos to deal with too. I totally understand.
And a lot of tacos. Yeah, it was keeping me.
Tacos and prints. That's Jake.
Goes right to your head.
those are my things.
Oh, I get it. Wow. Yes. Now I'm stressed out because I want all of this. In addition to all of the stuff that Craig is now showing me.
Yeah, I've just been online like shopping.
Which is part of my stress. Like,
but I'm next. My stress is pretty quick, guys. Well, Jake, did you have anything more before we move on?
No, go ahead. We're good, man. There's so much stuff.
Take the stress baton.
Yeah, the Yes Have Some Jake stress show.
New title. It's better.
So I've got 2 stresses. One was breaking news today, and I don't even know if this counts as stress, but it was more of something that was really cool. But, so, there's a new dinosaur.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
New dinosaur in town.
There's a new dinosaur in town.
Uh-huh.
This is amazing.
Okay. So, the news kind of broke.
I like it because it sleeps 5 feet above the covers.
Hey, hold on. Spoilers. So, I guess researchers at a museum in Canada discovered a new breed of dinosaur, or it's a new... What was it?
It's a new dinosaur.
It's a new dinosaur.
It's like it's like in the ankylosaur family.
Yeah, it's like an ankylosaur. Mm-hmm. But the headline said that I'm flipping through, and everybody posted about this today. But I'm scrolling through, news or whatever on Google, and it says scientists just named a newly discovered dinosaur after a Ghostbusters character, and that's all the headline said. So before I click on it, in my head, I'm like, holy shit.
Janos Rex. Yeah. But it wasn't so.
Right. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, my God, there's a Julian Holtzmanosaurus.
That's exactly what we all thought was...
or a Peter Venkman-asaur.
Abby Yates a dactyl. Okay. Are we still doing it?
We can keep going.
Aaron Gilbertsaurus?
Pete Mosen of...
Whoa, the king of the Jurassic world.
King Mo.
The Bull Rex himself.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's derailing.
Derail, so inside.
Get back to the museum.
Even the word raptor means Pete Mosen.
Oh my God.
So
scary.
So I clicked on it, and obviously I should have thought, out of everything in Ghostbusters, what's the thing that looks most like a dinosaur, right?
And least like a dog.
Hey, besides Dan Aykroyd these days.
Stop. He's enjoying himself.
He's having a good time. Zool. They named the dinosaur Zool. It's got an official long name that nobody cares about. But it's Zool. And the dinosaur kind of has a Zool look. It's got like the horns and the face. It's not... I get why they named it Zool. I thought that was really cool. And my first thought was, Jake, hey, there's like 2 active Ghostbusters related podcasts in the world. The Interdimensional Crossrip and the Yes Have Some podcast.
Yeah.
There's other ones. There's Ghostbusters Resurrection, but we'll just say there's only a couple, right?
Yeah.
Jake is a co-host of one of those podcasts, so he likes the Ghostbusters. I've heard him talk about it. And
I've heard him tell.
something else Jake likes a lot, dinosaurs.
Yes.
Like a whole
Dinosaurs for
lot.
sure. Yeah.
So I was excited for Jake more than anybody when I read this
Thank
news
you.
this morning.
But you were also like, it depends on what kind of dinosaur they cooked up in there. So, oh God, what is it? The quote? It's good.
Craig,
I like it.
I woke up and had a message from my friend Antoine about that and a link to it, and I was just like, oh, I guess I'm getting this dinosaur tattooed on me
yeah.
immediately. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, it'd be so cool.
Definitely.
So congratulations to I don't know, Ghostbusters,
The world for
Everyone, us,
discovering
dinosaurs,
new
carnivorous
dinosaurs.
creations.
yeah. Congratulations to everybody.
Good job.
Good job, everyone. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. So, I was going to talk about all the prints that I've been buying lately, but Jake was just talking about prints, and just know that I've spent too
Carnivorous
much money.
Creation should put out like a skeletal mold of like the dinosaur itself.
Ooh,
Maybe.
I'd buy that.
Okay.
In a heartbeat. Get on it,
Better
Mike.
have a good paint job.
Yeah, Chronicle Collectibles should not be putting out this Zool dinosaur.
Anything.
Although Chronicle Collectibles has put out a Zool or a Terror Dog that looks really good. So
Very good.
and so yeah, I bought a bunch of prints lately, and well, that we'll save that for another day. The other stress was Jeff Goldblum, Mr. Goldblum himself, finally said something about his casting in Jurassic World 2.
Yeah. What do you say?
Did you read this, Jake?
I did.
Jeff Goldblum, on his character, the character he's played twice before that everybody knows is Ian Malcolm. Mm-hmm. He did not say, I'm really excited to revisit this character. He did not say, it'll be interesting to see what Malcolm's like 20 years later. He did not allude to the fact that he's playing Ian Malcolm in Jurassic World 2. All he said was, my character is a saucy, sassy man.
That's all you needed to hear.
And that's like, hey, we already knew that,
we
Jeff
know.
Goldblum.
We've seen Jurassic Park.
Knew
Yeah,
that.
we
Hey, Jeff Goldblum, we've seen everything you've ever been in. You can say that about anything you've ever done.
Yeah. Do you guys remember this movie called 9 Months? 9 Months. It was like 1990 something. It's like Hugh Grant and Julianne Moore having a baby.
Okay.
And Jeff Goldblum's like their quirky friend. Guess what he was in that movie? Saucy and sassy.
Saucy and sassy.
He was a little bit of both.
Double threat.
Little bit of jumping ahead here. We all know that Jeff Goldblum has been cast in Thor Ragnarok as kind of, I don't know, the Jabba the Hutt character, basically.
Yeah.
And
Dude, the most pop artiest, if that's
yeah.
a word, look from that whole movie. That scene with like him, that looks amazing. The
so
colors in that movie
the
are
end
fucking
credits,
awesome.
The end credits of Guardians of the Galaxy have a bunch of little Easter eggs with cast and characters dancing.
Yes.
And Jake, did you see Jeff Goldblum?
He's there.
Yes, I did. Yeah, he's there.
Jeff
He's just
Goldblum,
there all of a
Saucy and
sudden.
sassy.
Saucy Sassy, first appearance ever in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, what I'm saying, Jeff, is
Dude, he's putting his seed everywhere. He's like Ego, the living planet.
he is. Although, if I didn't know who my dad was and found out that it was Jeff Goldblum, I'd be like, oh, awesome.
Yes.
Then I'd be saucy and sassy.
Yeah,
Cool.
you would be.
So what I'm saying is, I'm excited about Jurassic World 2. It's always weird when we're gonna see Ian Malcolm on screen in a year, so
Yeah.
it's stressful.
He's not going to be anyone's dad.
Yeah, I
he's
mean-
going to be saucy. He's going to be sassy.
So we've talked about it before. The departure of his character. His character was a little bit different in Lost World, right? Than he was.
Yeah, he took over like the
completely.
Sam Neill
Yeah.
role. Like he was.
Yeah, he
Grant.
kind of played more of the nervous straight man, not the wisecracking, kind of full of himself, saucy, sassy man.
Arrogant, saucy, sassy man. Eyeliner.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. And, yeah, I mean, look, Jeff Goldblum also was in the new Independence Day, and, that was kind of cool and not great, but it was something. So he's not infallible, but I have high hopes for Jurassic World 2. I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited that Jeff Goldblum's going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready for the sauce and the sass. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Same.
absolutely.
But my stress is I wish he would have said something more. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wish he would have gone into detail about what it's like as an actor to revisit a character that you played 20 years ago and how he reached out to Harrison Ford for advice.
Isn't he famously like not like that though in person and in interviews? Like part of his like I don't know. He's quirky.
He
He's
is
got like
quirky.
a shtick and all that.
Well, was there an article saying that
He's saucy and sassy. So
Jeff Goldblum has kind of gravitated more towards like the Bill Murray territory.
Right.
Is that what we talked about on the podcast?
I don't know, because I know I've seen some people. He was like doing like a tour, like a jazz tour for a while, and he was like going around and playing music, and
it's
he
like
would
living
sign
legend
autographs.
territory where like you become a myth, kind of.
Yep, he's definitely like he's gotten to a point where he can do what he wants, and he is a little Bill Murray-ish.
Nicolas Cage is almost in that realm too. There's people like that exist.
The last thing I saw. Like last week, there was articles going around where Jeff Goldblum was like working a food truck.
Yeah, he was serving people sausages.
Yeah, just serving people food.
Wow.
Well,
he's amazing.
I'd eat one of those sausages.
Yeah. I just hope there's a scene where he has to run away from a Pete Mosesaurus or whatever we're talking about.
We didn't really settle on it, but we all know what we're saying. And I want to see that.
And hey, listen. Abby was talking. I think Abby's going to talk about this in her stress, and maybe we could just move towards that.
I'll just move into it.
You want to move?
I'm having a movement,
guys. Hold on.
Starting a movement.
I'm done with my stress. It's over.
That's
okay.
what I meant to say.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
But not to lead you on.
Stress torch.
I'm passing the
Light 'em
stress
up.
torch. Abby was talking about how good of a movie year it's been so far.
Yeah.
2017.
That's what I was like. I'm all about the next big thing, and this year so far has been so satisfying. Like, already with Logan, Lego Batman was one of my favorite movies, and now Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, such a fucking emotional experience.
Kong was really good.
Kong, so good. We've got Alien Covenant coming out, Thor Ragnarok, and also It, which we were just talking about.
Oh, then there's another movie coming out in December. What's that called?
Oh, The Last Jedi.
There it is.
Let's not talk about the poster, though, because guess who didn't get one of those in her nerd block? That was actually my first stress when I wrote my stress down today.
But before we move on to that, I do want to say one thing. Next year, Abby and I were having a discussion. This has been a good year for movies and will continue to be good. What do we have coming next year?
What is my reason to wake up in the morning in 2018?
Yes. Jurassic World 2. Han Solo. Avengers / Guardians of the Galaxy mashup.
Now that is a reason enough for me.
Okay.
So yes, I will continue on in 2018.
And then, I guess they haven't announced it yet, but will the It sequel come out like a year later?
I don't know. I don't know if they're already filming that or if they're waiting. I no clue. There's been no
quiet.
All they have said is that there will be a second movie, for the second part.
Okay.
Right.
That's all we know.
Cool.
Right.
Well, fingers crossed for John Ritter. That's all I'm putting out there.
Oh, you
What?
stop it.
We're bad people.
stop.
Make a cameo,
We're bad
yeah.
We all
people.
float down here. I can't wait for that movie, guys. I was planning my Stephen King slumber party to have the week of the movie release for It, because I fucking love that book. I think this movie is going to be fucking perfect, and I want nothing more than to literally just order a bunch of Chinese takeout and make vegan fortune cookies and stuff them with a bunch of scary shit, and I want to dress up, and that wasn't even part of my stress other than I'm just thinking about it, and I'm super pumped about it. And I guess that ties into the fact that 2017 has been such a good, and is continuing to be such a good movie year, and I'm all about the next big thing and looking forward to a big thing, so it's just been one big thing after another. I think The Last Jedi is going to be awesome. I'm really excited about Thor Ragnarok, seeing that trailer in theaters. The crowd reaction is really good for that. I think the colors look good. I'm pumped for that story. But
I hate coffee.
Dude, Kevin, the return of Kevin is going to make that whole thing worth it. Okay, so that was part one.
Thor, the return of Kevin.
God, I love him. Okay, so I'm trying to get back. Originally, my first stress of this week was I got my Nerd Block box, which I know I was teasing earlier in, I think, our last episode. I was hoping that the Last Jedi poster was going to be a part of it because they put, an image up in tandem with, the release of this exclusive Star Wars Celebration box. And we got the box in the mail yesterday, and I'd been kind of an asshole about, avoiding spoilers because Jake was, texting me, oh, my buddy already got his box. Oh, I already got my box. And I'm like, don't tell me, because the fact that you're even telling me that you got it but you're not excited about it means that I'm probably not going to get the stuff that I think is in there. So I was kind of sad.
I think the fact that Jake's box made it to eBay before his living room.
Oh, he's like, nope. don't need. Okay,
Didn't
yeah.
even open mine, yeah.
Dude, yeah, so we did like a Facebook Live open of the box last night. We threw it up on YouTube also if you guys want to check it out on our Yes Have Some YouTube channel. But yeah, you can see me get really disappointed. That was Jake's comment. Oh, yay, live disappointment. Because, dude, that's what it was. I was like, oh, a beach ball, an oven mitt, a mug I already have, a lanyard, which I wanted, which was cool, and then a hacky sack. I think that's what that was. I still don't know. It was...
I like that there's a hacky sack made of Darth Vader, the most evil
the
villain
one you want to kick around, because that makes
my Hitler and my Saddam Hussein hacky sacks will go great with that Darth Vader hacky.
Right. It's like the George Bush toilet bowl cleaner that was like so hot back in like the early 2000s. Anyway, guys, what? This box was not that great. And sorry, Nerd Block, I'm sure you're awesome or whatever, but yeah, I was kind of bummed out about that. Also, like, speaking of stuff coming out that, like, I didn't get and don't know if I can get my hands on, Anovos is releasing a jacket that is the Star-Lord jacket from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And, dude, that thing looks amazing. And, like, obviously I've been wanting it. Like, I mean, I want the original one, but I also want the one from the second movie. I want this one in particular, and I don't think I can get it before Dragon Con because it's, like, in the pre-order phase. Like, they haven't even put them in production. So, like, there's pretty much no hope of getting this in my hands before Dragon Con, which is what I want it for, so that I can have a little Star-Lord costume going, and I want to get, like, his undershirt and all that shit. And, dude, I want to get a Zune. Like, sorry, spoilers, guys. I really want to get one of those, and I'm assuming that that's going to, like, skyrocket on, like, eBay, just the way that the old, Walkman that was from the first movie. I wonder if Zunes are going to, like, start to get, like, I don't know, really rare or something, yeah. So, dude, I'm kind of bummed because I want that jacket, and I don't know if I can get it. But then there's just, like, so much other Volume 2 stuff that's, like, surfacing. It almost is, like, I harken back to Ghostbusters Answer the Call when it was like, oh, there's pogo sticks, and there's lunch boxes, and there's all these figures, and then there's, like, stress balls, and there's, just constantly stuff coming in. So, like, I think you sent me, Jake, a picture of, like, a Chia Pet Groot, Baby Groot.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, I love that. I need that. Do I need it? I don't know. But yeah, then Think Geek today. I just saw James Gunn posted, I think, on his Instagram. They have the Think Geek is putting out tiki glasses for all the characters, which, like, dude, I don't drink, but, like, I'll totally put a nightcap in there, which is my chocolate milk drink that I drink every night before bed. And I do want special glasses for that. And I think I need to buy these. And I need all the Marvel Legends, the figures, because you need to buy them all in order to build the Mantis figure. And I'm also, like, stressed about that because those Marvel Legends figures are, like, awesome looking, but they're very hard to display, like, in a really pleasing way because their height is, like, I don't know. Like, I need, like, a platform. I've been building something in my head that I need for, like, the display of these figures. But first of all, I have to buy them. Second of all, I need money. I guess that's actually first of all.
I like how majority of our stress is, like, we're just consumers. Like, this is what's Yes Have Some podcast about? It's these three assholes who are, they just buy things.
And then they complain about it.
Yeah, they complain about the things. They complain about the things they buy or want to buy.
And the things they love.
That's what we do, huh?
The things we buy. Yes, have some. Oral history.
It's great.
It's good, yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's just all this stuff, and I don't know if I can get it. Some of it I'm like, do I want it? I mean, yeah, obviously. I went and got a Blizzard today from Dairy Queen, like hoping I could get an exclusive mixtape or whatever.
There was only 1,000. So Dairy Queen had a promotion with Guardians where they put out 1,000 cassette tapes, and like one of them had one of them was a winner, but you had to play it to listen to see if you won.
Oh,
whatever.
Wow, that's amazing.
Dude, those Dairy Queen employees, let me tell you what, they don't care. They do not want to look in the back and see. We literally left one Dairy Queen because no one was at the counter. We were like, we're leaving because we eat exclusive stuff. And it was totally worth it. And guys, are we ready to talk about
Let's just talk about Guardians
Volume 2? Because I feel like all of this is just building.
This is our Guardians of the Galaxy review. We are 1 hour into the show, and we are now starting the review. We might have
Get ready.
Should this be 2 episodes? No, we can't do that.
No, I can't.
Give the people what they want.
No, I need completion. I need to finish. Because, dude, I mean, it's good. I have no segue. Guys, what do we think of Guardians?
Well, how should we do this? Should we start off with like a number ranking? Let's do this. All right, just for fun, we'll sum out there. Let's go around and give it a 1 to 10. And then maybe a brief synopsis of where you think it fits in the Marvel rankings.
Okay.
All right?
Not like a full lengthy actual
No, you
listing.
don't name every Marvel movie and why it's your favorite, but just where you think it fits it.
I would...
Abigail?
I get, okay, like the realist and like the critic in me that has to be completely honest would probably give it like a 9.999999999. I probably shouldn't say 9 that many times, but...
No.
Not but the fan in me gives it a total 10. Like, because the giddy super fangirl is like completely happy with this entire movie. In the Marvel Universe, I would say it is neck and neck with Volume 1, probably, though, realistically second. I'd probably say Avengers would be third. Winter Soldier's in there.
Cool.
Enjoyed that quite a bit. Cool. Iron Man.
Cool. So you got Guardians 1, Guardians Volume 2. Perfect. Jay?
Yeah. The first, a number immediately popped in my head. I think any lower, and I think it wouldn't be good. But I think I'd give it like an 8.
Okay.
And is
I'm like
that too low for you, Abby?
I'm doing like a little Baby Groot like dance where I'm holding my fist back because like I want to fight you. No, I don't want to fight. I
Dude, I really liked it. I really, really enjoyed it. But I had one issue with it, and the issue I think is it was kind of a bummer to me, and it's putting a little bit of a shadow over the movie to me. But I really enjoyed it, and I think it's hard for me to say whether I think it was better than the first or not. I definitely think it was funnier than the first, and the first is really funny. Mm-hmm. I would put both of those, at the top of Marvel's list. But I would probably include the same movies that Abby said, the first Avengers and Winter Soldier. Like, other than that, most of the Marvel movies they're kind of the same. And some of them, to me, are a little boring.
Thor movies in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even Iron Man 2 and 3 I don't like, especially 3. I hate it, but
Woo! Craig's doing his little Groot dance.
I said it. Oh, I know he is. He's doing he's shaking his leg over there. But I would definitely put both Guardians, the first Avengers, and Winter Soldier like in the top. Those would be in the top 5, I think.
Cool.
Definitely.
Cool. I'm going to give this movie. So I saw it twice. I walked out and I was like, this movie's a 9. After the second time, I was like, no, this movie's a 10. Now, is it actually a 10? Is it a perfect movie? No, it's not. There's probably only 3 movies in my life that I've seen that I would say are perfect movies,
right?
In my opinion. None of them are Shawshank Redemption or The Green Mile. So my perfect...
I would say Ghostbusters, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and probably Mad Max Fury Road, because I think that's a perfect movie.
Cool. My perfect ones would be like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, and probably Jaws.
And Jurassic Park.
Yeah, those are
guys.
Those are all good movies, yeah.
Jake, I agree that Volume 2 is definitely funnier than the first one, and I love the first Guardians, but,
yeah, me too.
But I always kind of... it never grabbed me in the same way as I know it grabbed Abby and some other people. So, I would say...
it grabbed me where I needed to be grabbed.
I would say that, and I said this on Facebook, and I've seen the movie twice, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is my favorite Marvel movie. Strictly based on the fact that I watch it, I smile the entire time, and I laugh the entire time, and I'm like, it's not often you could see a movie where you're just like, I'm having fun. This is a fun experience. And we also had the second time we saw it in one of the new Dolby AMC theaters where the sound system was so good that the sheets that we brought with us because it gets chilly in there.
Is that why we brought them? Dude, no, we were shaking in our seats is what we're saying.
Yeah,
it was
the seats were shaking. So to me, it's like a 9.5. And it's my favorite Marvel movie. To round out the top 5 of the MCU would probably be like the first Iron Man, Avengers, and I'm probably in the minority. I really like Iron Man 3. I really like the first Guardians, and I really, really liked Ant-Man. But
that was a good movie, yeah.
It is good, yeah.
So, yeah, I absolutely loved it. And I don't know. we've done enough build up of what our anticipation level was. I think everybody knows that we're fans of Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy right now is the gold standard of what a comic book movie, both of them, what it can be and what it should be. Fun, heartwarming, tells a great story, but also is kind of its own thing. It's not beholden to like everything that came before it.
You're
in the
not
comics.
hanging on coattails,
Yeah.
exactly, right. You're not rehashing. It's complete, like, visionary work.
Yeah.
Like, you're fully immersed in that world.
Why don't you start us off? I mean, we're not going to do like a scene-by-scene breakdown.
No, we
but-
don't need to, but, like, starting off, like, literally right from the very beginning of this film, I've mentioned multiple times, I didn't listen to the soundtrack. It was out there, and I knew that it was such an integral part of the movement of the plot in the first movie that I abstained wholeheartedly from anything having to do with the soundtrack. So when I sat down to watch this movie in theaters, it was a packed theater. It was the same movie theater where I saw it for the very first time. I had both jackets with me because I knew I was going to be absorbing most of my tears with one of them. And I sat there, and as it, the comic book flipping the Marvel, the opening.
The new Marvel, that's like an
Ooh,
updated.
they got fancy
yeah.
with that thing.
A little fancier.
I liked it.
Ooh.
Yes. So I'm like grabbing Craig's arm and like getting geared up for this because I'm like, who knows what, is going to start this. And you get that little bit with Ego, with Star-Lord's dad, right? With Brandy. Is that the very beginning?
That is the beginning. Let's actually talk about that real quick.
Okay, yeah. Right.
It opens up back on Earth.
And I knew Brandy was a song that was used. So, like, technically, I knew that one was coming.
First of all, Brandy's an awesome... I love that song.
Yes.
That's a good song. Guys, we got young Kurt Russell opening this movie.
Dude, he looked good.
How insane was that? Like, we've seen a lot of the CGI and the, making people look younger, but it's always kind of like,
Well,
whatever.
they're playing off of him. Like, I'm assuming his body was, like, the original is actually Kurt Russell.
That was all him.
Yeah,
They
and
It
they just
was
did the
Kurt
face.
Russell.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's easier.
Yeah.
That blew me away. It looked so good. We've seen, like, recently that's become, like a cool thing to do is to make your actors younger. They've done it a couple times. They did it with Iron Man. They did it with, didn't they do it in Ant-Man?
They did it with Michael Douglas. I just read
Michael
the new Scorsese movie coming out, The Irishman. Robert De Niro is playing a 30-year-old.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ. So, but here's the
like
thing,
it.
though. Every time that's done, it does look a little weird.
Right.
It always looks a little off, and it's not bad. It's not like Carrie Fisher fucking Rogue One bad.
Right.
But it's always a little weird. This looked like I came out of the movie and I was like, oh, hey, how did they know to film that like back in the 80s? Like, how did they know they were going to make this movie?
Because it's daylight, like daytime driving out in like the beauty
It
of
looked
nature.
perfect. I was like, okay, so now that I know this is possible, can we just get like sequels to all the 80s Kurt Russell movies that take place in that time frame?
Yeah.
Dude,
because
yes.
it looked great. I thought it looked amazing.
Right.
That is a good way to start your movie, to be like, hey, look at our seat. Like, it looked fucking good.
Yeah, and what I like is that like Kurt Russell's a good-looking guy, and like he's aging well, but like he's definitely he's probably close to 70. Like.
Oh, he still looks great.
Like, I was like, oh, cool, 35-year-old Kurt Russell in 2017 on an IMAX screen in 3D, and it looks fucking perfect.
Right.
Dude, that hair, he's got the best hair.
Dude,
it's incredible.
I want to hang out with Kurt Russell so badly.
I just want to look as cool as Kurt Russell when I get old.
You do?
Feathery.
You look good. You all do.
I just want to hang on him. God.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Opens up.
We got Ego, his River Lily. They're
At the
riding
Dairy
together,
Queen.
going to Dairy Queen.
There you go. So
Right. Okay, so you got the story set. You're starting out on Earth, just like in Volume 1.
Right.
So you got kind of like, the beginning of the roots, so like
cuts
we're
to
grounded.
34 years later.
Cuts to Abby crying her fucking eyes out because Electric Light Orchestra is like one of my favorite bands, and hearing Mr. Blue Sky, that's one of my favorite songs, and I've been listening to them like very heavily over the last couple of months, and having that play while Baby Groot does his little like foreground silly dance moves where he's like clearly not paying attention to the destruction going on behind him, and like the struggle to pay attention to either Baby Groot or like the ridiculousness of like Star-Lord and Gamora and Drax like failing to defeat this giant tentacle space slug. Like that whole sequence, I was crying, shaking, screaming. I felt terrible for the guy sitting next to me. I was like, well, this is what you're in for, man. Like, this is the rest of the movie. This is how I'm going to be. And it was exactly what I wanted. Like, I wanted to be grabbed and emotionally, like, that's not being shaken. That's being, like, wrapped up and coddled and kissed and loved and taken to prom. And, like, it was awesome.
After prom?
Dude, after prom, exactly what you wanted to have happen. It was very romantic. It was so special. That was a really awesome open, and I was just in it so fast. So, yeah, I don't know how you guys thought that played out.
I mean, I loved it. It's such a unique thing to do where you're like, so you probably have the amount of visual effects going on. I mean, we're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars being spent, and the entire point is to make sure that the audience is not focusing on it. Like, yes. I'm going to have to watch that. I'm not going to be able to do it until it comes on Blu-ray. I'm going to try to, like, they should put out a special feature that removes Groot from that scene. So you could just see. It's like a game
to try not to pay attention to the dancing Baby Groot. You could see,
and, like, let's talk about Baby Groot just in general. Like, so, obviously, when you deal with something, it's adorable, it's cute, it could be overkill. Maybe
he's too adorable to kill.
Yeah. I mean,
he's like the BB-8, the Slimer, like, what have you. Yes, yeah, he's the adorable
He's about
factor.
As adorable of a sidekick as you can get. But I think they start off the movie with a bang, and you kind of pick up where you left off. You know, Drax was extremely funny right from the top. You've got the banter between Gamora and Star-Lord, and then Rocket is just such a total fucking asshole. I love it.
Dude,
so much.
I love that he's like just trying to play some tunes. Like all of that just. Oh, also, just to add to the dancing Baby Groot stuff, like knowing that James Gunn did motion capture for that makes him like a character within his own movie, which I love.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he does all the dancing.
And I think of him and his long, lanky, awkward body, and like it is very satisfying to think that he put himself in there almost in a way as a character. So that's great.
Cool. So, I mean, where do you guys want to go with this? So, obviously, everyone who's seen the movie knows the basic plot. The Guardians, they're hired by the Sovereign to retrieve their what do they retrieve?
Batteries.
Yeah, the batteries.
And then Rocket steals the batteries.
Rocket steals some of the batteries, and they get Nebula back as their reward. Mm-hmm. I thought that was one of the funniest parts of the movie where they revealed Nebula, and Star-Lord goes, "Family reunion!"
Yay.
Like, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, but yeah, speaking of family reunion, that's what this whole movie was about. Like,
yeah, so the main plot of the movie is, they cast Kurt Russell in the movie, and it was revealed like that he was going to be Ego the Living Planet, and that was going to be Star-Lord's dad. That was not something that was part of the plot. And he's in the movie really quickly, right? So he shows up as the 1-inch man.
Yeah.
And we meet Kurt Russell, and right off the bat, like, I'm in love with that character. And Jake, I think this is kind of where you wanted to start
things might have derailed or whatever.
Well, not derailed, but, you know,
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word derailed, but it's the beginning of my issue with the movie.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me, should we just get into it?
Go for it.
So, you know, the first movie is so heavily, like, they make it a very important part of Star-Lord's whole thing is that, you know, who's his father? You know, from the beginning of the movie, they make it, it's a big important thing. And it's kind of a bummer that they revealed who his father was before this movie even came out.
Right.
But I understand that they did that to try to keep the leaks back. They just wanted to go ahead and do that. That's fine. But as soon as Kurt Russell shows up, he shows up so early in the movie that you're like, oh, he's gonna be the bad guy, isn't he? And then it's not very long after he shows up when the first time you get that little bit of Mantis. The first time Mantis is like, you know, hey, I got to tell you something. You're like, okay, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, I got that vibe, and she was like, I help him sleep at night. You're like, anybody that needs help sleeping at night does some bad shit during the day.
I think they kind of give it away when Gamora says to Star-Lord, hey, if he turns out to be evil, we'll just kill him.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, that was right there.
Right.
You got the hint. Yeah.
But the thing, that's kind of what bums me out is like, you know, for that to be such a important thing in Star-Lord's life, you know, and then the second movie's just like, oh, we'll just make him the villain. Like, that just seems like kind of a cliche thing to do, is just your dad's the villain. And it kind of bummed me. It kind of cheapened the whole thing to me, and I was like, "Oh, really? He's the bad guy." So like his whole life, he's been looking for his dad. His dad apparently is an immortal planet who's been alive for millions of years,
and he's been doing a whole lot of fucking
and then just gets killed. Like I don't know, man. That plot point I did not like. I love Kurt Russell, and he was great in that role. The character was amazing. But just the fact that the father ended up being the villain, it bothered me. And the whole thing with Yondu at the end. Now, I loved Yondu, and he's amazing in this movie. And he spends a lot of this movie kind of redeeming himself from the first movie. And that's great and all, but his final scene, it seems shoehorned in. Like his death and Peter's like they're like really quick, like, oh hey, I'm your real dad and I'm dead. Yeah. Like it just seemed
I didn't see. I loved all of it, but I could see the argument to where like it would have been better off as the third. Like this movie almost felt like the third movie, like the whole the storyline between Yondu and Star-Lord feels like something where if we saw more of it, the death and the redemption would have meant more. Having said that, it gets to me, and I cried my little eyes out, and it
was great. Yeah, no, like don't get me wrong, I loved this movie, and I think it was good. It just seemed like he barely interacts with Peter in this movie.
Right.
It's like it's almost like that's it. It's the very end, right? And it's like, oh,
well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like it could have been, if we saw more of the, because it's kind of coming out of the first movie, you're kind of like, oh, this guy's kind of a total asshole. Like, but I'm talking about Yondu. But
yeah,
I think one of the main, they kind of say it in the movie. It's like you search for something for your whole life, and it doesn't turn out to be.
That was my takeaway from it. Was like love the ones that you that you're with and that you have around you, and maybe that you take for granted. Because at least I don't want to get super personal, but I think a lot of people, probably within the collecting community and people who love movies as much as we love movies, like parents can be the real villains sometimes. Like whether or not they're good people and whether or not they love us, they can cause a lot of damage. And I think that this movie going within and exploring that, how your actual blood can sometimes be a letdown, and how that was the line that got me the most is when Gamora says, like, I'm trying to remember, but I believe she says, like, I thought we were your family.
Right.
The building and constructing your own family unit out of, like, whatever, the misfits, the underdogs. Like, obviously that's what the first movie was about. They've all been through trauma and stuff. This movie going within and exploring Star-Lord's relationship with his dad, I connected with that on a very deep level, and even more so his almost, taking for granted Yondu's taking care of him. Like, I felt like there was some very deep emotion there. And I also really liked the fact that the line that Star-Lord uses in the beginning about how he was good for thieving because he was like a small boy who could fit into small places. He says the line, and then Yondu's basically verbatim says it while he's in the holding cell. Yeah, and whenever you hear someone say the same thing twice like that, like, it's kind of fishy. So I liked that stuff, and I was putting little pieces together. And then to have the moment of him realizing, oh yeah, you were my dad all along, and now I'm going to lose you, that hit me so fucking goddamn hard that I was like a wreck afterwards. So, I mean, I do see some of your points and can, like, it's not the most perfect movie, like, I agree, but the emotional ride that I was on, I was like, yes. And also, it's really empowering to realize that, yes, our parents can, maybe family members or people that you look up to can let you down, but being able to live a life unshackled and, like, free of them and doing your own thing and making the most of your life with the people that you love and not taking them for granted. And that stuff was very special for me, and I think this was a week where I was able to celebrate with friends, and it just, like, resonated even more with me. So I'm not, like, countering your argument, but that's where I'm coming from.
No,
I definitely enjoyed it.
You're good, and I can, like, I definitely see what you mean. I get that side of it. It's just like I want to go see the movie again, knowing that he's the villain, because it just kind of, like, it nagged me. It, like, was nagging at me while I was watching the movie, and it distracted me a little bit. And I was watching the movie and I was like, I know this movie's good. I was like, it's very funny. I really like it. But something about just that part of the plot felt like the movie. I was just like, this movie's better than this. It almost seemed like a recycled kind of plot.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like really good writing and really funny and really like a really lovable movie, but wrapped up in like, sometimes it feels like Marvel has a hat full of plot lines and they just pick and then they write their movie around that. And it just bothered me while I was watching it, but I want to go see it again. And not have to, and I already know that. I don't have to worry about that. Let me just go and enjoy this movie.
Right. I felt like it almost washed over myself and the whole audience, like the way when The Force Awakens, when you see Han Solo, like, eat it or whatever.
Yeah.
That wash of like, oh my God, like, is
I didn't want it. Yeah, I didn't want it. I did not want it.
Right.
Like, I like Yondu, and I really like Michael Rooker, and
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm
Dude,
so
I
glad,
waited on
like,
him. He's awesome. He's super nice.
Yeah, it's so cool because he, James Gunn, I don't know if you guys, like, James Gunn he's such a funny dude, and he's got such a weird kind of like sick sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have seen Slither, but he did Slither. I don't know what year it came out. It's a while back at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that movie, it's amazing. It's scary. It's gross, and it's super funny. And it has Michael Rooker is one of the main actors in that movie. And there's another movie that's like, it's kind of a cult movie at this point. It was Michael Rooker's first film, and it's called Portrait of a Serial Killer. And it's just like disturbing, and it's I don't know, you just got to watch it. But it's really cool to see an actor like that, who's always kind of had these smaller roles and stuff, just kind of all of a sudden he's in Marvel movies, and he's like he's one of the coolest, like, he's one of the most badass characters in that movie. And even in the first movie, when he's like a piece of rashit most of the movie, he's still like, oh, I just want to watch a movie of Yondu.
Right. Yeah, and seeing them escaping the Ravager ship, basically, like killing everybody. That's a Mondo print right there. That was what I said when we were watching it the second time. Like seeing his arrow like whistle through and create the red line and all like the suspended bodies and shit. That is amazing, and I love that.
There's a lot of
Baby Groot going after the one guy that was like pouring all the beer on him, like Beethoven and Beethoven 2. I fucking love that.
Beethoven. I just realized something. The plot between Peter and his dad is very similar to that episode of The Fresh Prince where Will's dad comes back.
Right.
And it's like, and everybody can kind of see that Will's dad's a fucking asshole except for Will.
Yes.
Until the end. And when he realizes, like, oh, I already have a family.
Yes. Dude, I mean, James Gunn was
so it is kind of a common trope that we've seen before. But I will say, I love Kurt Russell in this movie.
Me
too.
The
second he walks off that ship, my first thought is, oh, that is a cool looking asshole
that
right there.
That is a cool ass man.
Like,
and when he's like singing Looking Glass Brandy to Chris Pratt, like, it's so great because he's very charismatic, but you can also tell that's like a super douchey thing to do, to like slow break down like a song and explain it to somebody and all that. I loved it. Like,
I just feel like I wanted to listen to him talk forever.
Yeah.
I just feel like I could just listen to Kurt Russell talk about anything.
So that's interesting you said that, because one complaint that I've read a little bit is some people thought it kind of slowed down in the middle. There was a little bit too much exposition with Ego kind of explaining everything to Star-Lord, but it's Kurt Russell.
And he was a deity. Like, he'd been alive for a long time, so you got to fill in the blanks.
The reason why I love Hateful Eight is for the Kurt Russell monologues.
Yeah.
I want to hear him talk for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And guys, I'm going to put this out there right now. Don't forget who passed up on the role of Ego.
Oh, and I'm so glad. Dark Tower.
Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Well, think about what that...
I thought about it. He's got no paternal like connection. I don't think father figure. Which again, like Ego, the Living Planet wasn't a good father figure, but still, like,
that would have been weird.
That would have been weird.
I wouldn't.
And I like Matthew McConaughey, but I don't think I think Kurt Russell was the way to go.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey is too spaced out, so Kurt Russell's present.
I love Ego's Planet. Like, it's so...
It's a Mondo poster.
yeah.
It's so beautiful.
It's colorful and, like, fantastical and, like, seeing it on a big IMAX screen in 3D, like they're playing that George Harrison song, and I'm just like a little kid. Like I feel like I'm seeing The Wizard of Oz for the first time.
It felt like Candyland and like the Emerald City, like at the same time. It was awesome.
So yeah, Kurt Russell was awesome in this movie. Let's talk about
other new characters. Mantis.
Let's talk about
That's
Mantis.
what this character or this movie was. I think about like pairing different pairings of the characters rather than like all of them banding together.
Let's explore the relationship.
Drax, yeah,
Mantis and Drax. There's some really funny stuff there.
Yeah, their like first interactions when they're at the fireplace on the planet that looks like Endor. That I'm not sure what it's called. The one that they land on.
Yeah,
first, whatever. Yeah, it's awesome. It's like the Earth-like planet. But yeah, no, when they're first getting to know each other and like Mantis tries to pet Rocket, it's like, can I pet your puppy? And then she like Drax is like, he realizes that if she does, it's gonna be awesome, so he lets her, and then like Rocket tries to bite her, like that whole thing, and like how like just like the kind they're just a good fitting pair because like neither of them are like I don't know, they're very funny together, and I really enjoyed watching them get to know each other, and I liked their chemistry. So
the fact that like she's kind of weird looking because she's kind of like an alien creature, but she's obviously an attractive person. And you have Drax, who literally maybe 10 or 15 times in this movie tells her how disgusting she is.
And he tells her she's beautiful on the inside.
The time when she wakes him up when there's trouble and he's like gagging, throwing up, and she's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Oh, the thought of being physical with you." Like it's just like it's very that's very funny. Like Dave Bautista kind of steals this movie. And I was talking to Abby, so when Batista was a wrestler, I always hated him, and I thought he was annoying, and that he sucked. And then after seeing him in these Guardians movies, I was like, how bad is WWE at developing their own talent? If they have this gem of a man who's this talented and this funny, and they couldn't,
Yeah, James Gunn versus Vince McMahon. I mean, like, we don't need to talk about that.
You're probably the first person in human history to say that sentence.
Mention the two of them in the same sentence because they're polar opposites. One is like a hero of women and the people, and the other's a fucking... I don't want to go off on my WWE
There you
tangent,
go. Well, you didn't even go...
I feel like James Gunn was taking down, like, male privilege and patriarchy in this movie, and I thought it was really cool. Nebula, Gamora, their relationship, their, like, competitive sibling rivalry stuff was awesome.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
Loved their scenes.
I didn't really like Nebula in the first movie, and even when I watch it now when she's on screen, I'm kind of, like, rolling my eyes, because I'm like, whatever, you're the shitty sister, and who cares?
Yeah.
But the way they, like, expand...
Get to the kiln.
Yeah.
She kind of doesn't say much.
By the end of this movie... I kind of realized, like, oh, Gamora's kind of like a straight A student, and Nebula was like, she was trying really hard, and Thanos just kept like taking her brain out and replacing all of her parts.
Yeah,
and I kind of felt bad.
He pulled
for
her eye from her head and her like brain from her skull and her arm from her body. Like whatever that line was so good. Like the two of them realizing that like all she wanted was a sister and. That family shit, like, it's like Shakespeare. Like, it's like the family ties, like Star Wars, you got the fucking Skywalker, all that stuff. Like, that's the stuff I connect to and watch movies for.
How cool was it when, so Nebula leaves the Ravager ship, and she has her conversation with Sean Gunn, who also was great in this movie.
Yes, Kraglin.
And... Soup!
Dude.
We tweeted at Sean Gunn, and we had a brief interaction about his Soup song. So... when Nebula gets to Ego's planet and finds Gamora, that is definitely an homage to North by Northwest, the Alfred Hitchcock scene, where she comes kind of in and you see Gamora taking off like in the wheat field.
Oh, God. Dude, the shot, sorry to backtrack, but that big widescreen shot of Gamora sitting on the planet, like with her, just like whatever, hunched over with her elbows on her knees, and then like she cuts the plants that are whistling and making noises or whatever because she's so tense. Like just that shot is beautiful and spectacular, and I want a print of it. So
it's beautiful. And then that leads to the crash that sees Gamora picking up probably like the biggest gun I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God, I wanted that gun.
I told Jake that Abby asked me to build her that gun.
Yeah, every time I see a big gun, I'm like, oh, I can do it. Yeah, I picked the most difficult things. While I was watching this movie both times, I was like, yeah, I can do Mantis. I love black and green. And then, oh yeah, sclera lenses and false eyelashes and like an apparatus on my forehead. I'm not going to be able to do it, but like I wish I could because I thought the costumes and everything in this movie looked so fucking tight. So,
so Nebula, Gamora were great. Kraglin, all the Ravengers, were good, and
Everybody was good.
The taser face stuff was really funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was.
Like,
that whole scene with that scene where Groot is trying to get the Yondu's new fin.
oh yeah.
And he just keeps bringing back random shit. It's like it's almost like if that scene was in any other movie, you would be like, well, it went on for too long. But in this movie, I was like, I'll watch just an hour of Groot bringing back the wrong thing.
You know why?
I will.
I can fucking tell you exactly why.
Yes.
I can tell you why right now. So let's think about Ghostbusters Answer the Call, where throughout that movie you see Kevin doing stuff like that, like being ridiculous, like
Referencing his hide and go seek tournament.
We're asking for the fin, and Groot's bringing the desk, and it's like, okay, that's stupid because nobody would do that. But Baby Groot is a tiny, adorable, innocent little asshole who's just trying to help.
He's like a toddler.
And he's like a toddler. And so in that context, it works. And it doesn't go on too long. And it is really funny because we've already bought, like, within 5 minutes, all you know, Baby Groot is about dancing, having a good time, hitting animals that aren't doing anything to him.
God, I fucking love when he starts hitting on Drax. It reminds me of my cat Gizmo. Like, every time I pour his dry food out, he swats at the bag when I pull it away for no reason.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a scene where there's like a
he's
battle.
mad, but he's also happy.
There's
and
a
excited.
battle, and Drax is like climbing back onto the ship, and Baby Groot just starts punching him for no reason. Like, it's funny.
Exactly.
And we had just seen Groot like being tormented by the Ravagers, and they're pouring beer on him and everything, and he's walking and he's sad.
And he's squishy.
And he's all squishy.
Just a bunch of
and then
beer
you get
poured
this
on
really funny scene, and then, like I said, the whole Taserface thing where like they've got Rocket tied up, and Rocket Raccoon is a great character because he gets more pleasure about being a sarcastic asshole, even if it's putting himself in more danger. He cannot help himself.
It's like Richie Tozier.
He's like Richie
Yeah,
Dozier.
yeah.
I don't really know what that means, but
You will.
I will.
You will. Sorry.
You'll float too.
We're all gonna float. So
Uh-huh.
they're like getting in Rocket's face. They're threatening to kill everybody, and he's like, and he says his name is Taserface, and Rocket cannot help himself,
Yeah.
but to be like, hey.
That's stupid.
That's the stupidest thing. You can't be serious. Please tell me you actually shoot tasers from your face.
Yes. Also, backing up, sorry to go back to the Baby Groot trying to find the fin. I feel like Baby Groot was, yes, very funny, but Michael Rooker and Rocket Raccoon, between them, their reactions, between Yondu trying to explain what exactly Baby Groot
they're
needed,
just as funny.
he's like, it's red. And then when Rocket was like talking to Baby Groot about the hat, and he's like, that's why you don't like hats? Because like you think it's somebody's head or whatever. That whole part had me dying. So.
And I like how stupid the Ravagers are. Like, here's
They're like
this
pirates.
Here's
space
this
pirates.
fin that Yondu will need to acquire if he were to escape and regain his powers. We're just gonna keep it in this top drawer. Like, they kind of implied that
we
was
can easily get to it.
that was Yondu's top drawer, and like Taserface
His sleeping quarters,
he just decided to sleep in.
Because he got like a nice bed. You saw all the Ravagers on the floor sleeping on top of each other, like a bunch of pirates and scallywags or whatever.
So
and they're all stupid, and I love it. I feel like Kraglin's kind of like Smee. You got like the constant companion or whatever that like looks up to his captain. I loved his storyline and all that kind of stuff too. And just to skip to the end, I guess the funeral scene was so goddamn. Like it made me cry so hard, and it was also one of those like awesome cries, like the most cathartic way. And then to have Baby Groot crawl up on Star-Lord's lap at the end of the movie, and that just reminds me of like at the end of a hard day, like when I have either Gizmo or Gypsy, my favorite cats in the entire world, one of them sitting on my lap. It's like and to know that James Gunn also has cats, and that he like celebrates animals and like understands like that sometimes you just need that little like that companionship and that love and understanding to get through something difficult like that. And the family unit that, you know, that unspoken thing between Gamora and Peter, that you see the two of them come together, and it's good because his dad was a piece of shit, but he's not going to be a piece of shit. So
let's talk about Sylvester Stallone. We all like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
So
can you depend on him to deliver exposition in a movie if he's hard to understand and like you need to know what's going on?
It didn't even realize till the second time that what he tells Groot in that scene is, when you die, you'll never have a Ravager funeral. Like, it's complete foreshadowing.
Yeah. He's like, you'll never have the colors.
You'll never have the colors of the Ravager funeral. I liked it. He played Stakar, who, I I mean, I've had to do some reading. I'm not a Marvel Comics expert.
Yeah, I
but
had to read up.
His group that they show is the original Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics.
And Miley Cyrus is voicing one of them.
There you go. I thought it was great. Like, I love that kind of stuff. Like,
I thought that was really cool, and I didn't know who they were either. And usually with the Marvel movies, I know what the Easter eggs mean. I at least know who they're referencing, but I don't know anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy really. So, besides what I've seen in the two films. So, like, at the end when they were like, maybe we should get the gang back together, I was like, oh, well, that's obviously significant for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a after credit scene, but I don't know who that is. As soon as we leave, our buddy Hal was like, hey, so that scene, check this out. He showed me a picture of like one of the original Guardians of the Galaxy comic books, and it's like that entire crew plus Yondu, and I'm like, whoa, like that's a very cool thing. And I read, Gunn saying like that crew is going to be back. Like they don't know in what capacity, but like those characters coming back.
That's very cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Aesthetically and like their whole vibe on screen was awesome, and I'm definitely into it. And yeah, there were a lot of moments during the movie where I was like, something just happened so fast, but it felt significant. I don't know what it is, but I have to go back and read about it. The Watchers being one of them.
I was going to say, maybe we should talk about that really quick. Like, finally, we kind of get... It's so weird when there's, like, fan theories that Marvel has decided to be like, hey, let's take this very popular fan theory and we'll just make it canon.
Yeah.
And you get that little, that cool little Stan Lee thing. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, so
cool.
the theory for a while is that Stan Lee was the Watcher from Marvel Comics, and or one of the Watchers, or the mate, whatever.
Watcher.
Yeah, Watcher. And that his cameos in all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies are that he's the same person. He's the same character.
Yeah, it's one creature.
Continuous, yeah.
Just watching, yeah.
Yeah, and since Stan Lee appears in every Marvel movie, even beyond the MCU, and obviously we know multiple parallel universes and, multiverses are huge in comics, maybe that connects all the Marvel movies.
Yeah, they're all connected by Stan Lee. Yeah.
I thought the Stan Lee cameo was great.
Stan Lee is our
constant. It was
constant.
very good, yeah.
I thought that was great. And then, what was the other post-credit scene?
Teenage Groot?
So, did you see Funko's releasing a Teenage Groot Funko Pop?
I did not.
So, at first I was kind of bummed because I love Baby Groot so much, thinking that So, I read a thing today, too. By the way, Baby Groot has no memories of being original Groot. It's a different character.
That's interesting. Because the comic book that I read, like, right after Volume 1 came out was the Rocket and Groot comic book I read. Groot basically regenerates, like, super crazy fast. Because I think at one point, Rocket, like, escapes a prison by having a seed of Groot, like, in his mouth that he conceals and then grows, and it grows so fast that they're able to break out together. So I'm sure that it's a little different from whatever the canon.
So Groot from the first film is dead, basically. Yes. And this is a new Groot.
This is a new Groot. I like the idea, though, right now, of Teenage Groot. It's kind of growing on me, because I kind of like the idea of, like, an angsty, like, Groot. Maybe he's wearing a flannel shirt and, like, listening to Nirvana.
Yeah.
And, like,
he's got, like, a swoopy emo haircut.
Yes.
I just imagine...
Swoopy
his vines are in his eyes the whole time.
Like, in the next movie opens up with... instead of Baby Groot dancing, they're all fighting, and Baby Groot, or like Teenage Groot's just in the corner, like being apathetic to the whole
That's
situation.
great, because that's what James Gunn, I've seen his pictures, his like TBTs, like that's what he looked like in high school. Like he was
like
bullied and
punk
picked
rock
on.
kid.
He was into like all that fucking new wave shit and gothic shit and punk rock, and yeah, I would love for that to like. And if Groot is an extension of James Gunn in some way, then yeah, I would really like to see that. That'd be very cool.
But I wonder if we're gonna get though. I wonder if in Guardians 3 it's still going to be Teenage Groot, or if it's just going to be like between now and then we're going to just get grown up Groot.
Let's explore that a little bit. So
take an animated series where we really explore it. That would be very cool.
The first Guardians was 2014. This movie takes place roughly 3 months after that. It's only a couple months later. The Guardians' next appearance will be in Avengers 3, which comes out a year from now.
But timeline-wise,
but
where does it match up?
That's 4 years after Guardians 2.
Okay.
So Groot could be back to just regular old Groot.
Young adult.
Although I like killing off Groot and getting Baby Groot back every movie. Because I'm selfish.
For marketing purposes, yes. And also, I read, I saw an article being passed around Facebook about like the 8 or 12 disquieting or disconcerting things about Guardians that like didn't add up to people. One of them being that Drax didn't have nipples, which I guess, okay, when you like zoom in, he doesn't have them, but whatever, it was a good joke. But no, I think that a lot of people were complaining that like, well, there was just too much Baby Groot. Baby Groot was like sequel-itis level, like too much. But I'm like, dude, Baby Groot was like the dessert, like the thing that you come for. So like, why not have as much of it as possible? I really enjoyed.
I feel like as far as sequels
seeing
go,
on screen. So
most sequels try to, well, not most, but many sequels just go like, we're going to keep the same template from the first movie and then just go bigger and better. So if if we had one villain the first time, we're going to have 2 or 3 this time. And I feel like this movie, Abby, you can articulate this a little bit better. It kind of went within.
Yes, and it did literally right off the bat when you're behind the Dairy Queen with Ego and I can't remember Star-Lord's mom's name, but when you drop down, the camera angle zooms in on the seed, like the plant that Ego put on Earth, and like you go within, and like you close up kind of. And it's awesome special effects, but like that's kind of the whole movie. Like you're going deep down inside the family tree and the history and the interpersonal conflict between family members, and I liked all that stuff. I felt like if the first movie was me falling in love with the movie, then why not go deeper into that family or that movie's history and like find out more about those characters, their family, etc. So it was very satisfying for me, and I did think it was like a journey within. So introspection and all that kind of stuff. Meredith Quill. There we go, guys. Shout out to you. My River Lily?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's River Lily, so there you go.
I don't think she's going to hear
She knew
your
every
shout out.
song on the radio.
Yeah, but she won't hear that.
She's not going to get mad. She's not going to hear it.
What about the soundtrack? We're going to be wrapping up here in a few, but the soundtrack, Abby, you said you refrained from listening to it at all. The first movie soundtrack's pretty much untouchable. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So...
But there's some fun songs in this one.
There's some very fun songs. It's a super solid soundtrack. Of course, it's not as good as the first one. I've heard that echoed from a lot of friends and like other fans saying that, it didn't have the nostalgic ties. Like some of the songs aren't songs that I grew up with, etc. But all of the songs work and have that same feel that the original soundtrack did. Like silly, goofy. I think James Gunn calls it mom rock. Like it's that like AM or FM, like late 70s. Rock. It's not prog rock. It's not dad rock. It's like kind of silly.
Like pop rock.
Yeah, poppy rock.
It's kind of soft.
Yeah.
Like B98.5.
I enjoyed it. I fucking love John Lennon, and I really enjoy...
John Lennon?
He's not John Lennon.
George Harrison.
George Harrison. Oh my God, guys. That's embarrassing. I do like that song, and I like the soundtrack.
Hey, I like John Lennon.
I like John Lennon, too.
He's just not on
But George Harrison, he's great, obviously. It's a great soundtrack. It's not as good as the first one, but I've really enjoyed listening to it, and it really held the movie together and kept the pace and had all the feelings that I wanted. So,
have you ever listened to it coming out of a bag of Doritos?
Oh my, no, but I will in like a couple weeks.
No, it's coming Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
God, I feel so privileged. I'm so excited to get those. I want to get like the actual headphones that Star-Lord has from like the first movie so I can plug them in.
I thought that was one of the best jokes in the movie, by the way, when Kraglin gives Peter Quill the Zune.
Yeah,
that was
300 songs?
That was good.
Because, as we all know, the Zune didn't quite take off as Microsoft planned. Although I had friends who had a Zune who were like, "Oh, this is better than iPod, man."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I have this iPod, and it's clearly
it's
superior."
black and white, but it's great.
So cool. We kind of jumped all around. Did you guys have any other like final thoughts that you wanted to lay down?
We jumped through a bunch of wormholes like Rocket and
Ooh, that was one of my favorite
like
parts of the
those
movie.
things they reminded me of those face like the squeezy balls from
Yeah.
Oh,
they came out
yeah,
with
those
Ghostbusters
toys.
Answer the Call toys, like where the eyes bulge out. I loved that scene. The whole sequence was really funny.
That was more like James Gunn saying like, what would be something so ridiculous? Like, what if they went through like 80,000 time hops and like their faces are all stretched out and like at the end Baby Groot just throws up. I like how we all call him Baby Groot. Like we know. He's a baby.
know.
He's just a
I think that little throw up was one of my favorite. Like that was so funny to me. I don't know why, but just that little vomit was very
so
funny.
cute.
But he also
little.
kind of had a smile on his face.
Yeah. Groot, put your seatbelt on. I love that he was like a little child that they looked after and like passed around back and forth like a kitten. And just, I love that dynamic. So yeah, I don't know what form Groot will take in the next one, but I guess it's safe to say I'm stressed about it because I want it to be good because I love him.
You are. Yeah.
I'm very stressed.
Let's talk about David Hasselhoff.
I love
quick.
George Harrison. So just
and John Lennon. And Paul McCarthy.
Paul McCarthy. The evil Beatles.
David Hasselhoff makes a little appearance in this movie.
Yeah, tiny little cameo.
So, one thing I really like about Guardians is how like it takes place in space and you know, way far away from Earth. But because Peter Quill is from Earth and his entire frame of reference ended in like 1988 or whatever, that's all the pop culture we get. So he gives Gamora. They have this interaction where he talks about, or she brings up that David Hasselhoff in Knight Rider was like the father he never had.
Daus Hasselfrost?
Yeah, whatever
she calls
says.
him something else.
Daus Hasselfrost. And when Kurt Russell's kind of turning on Star-Lord and he informs Star-Lord that he put the tumor in his mother's head and Star-Lord shoots him, when he's kind of reforming, at one point he takes the shape of David Hasselhoff very briefly.
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of risky because it could take you out of it. But to me, it worked because it's so silly and funny, and just it was so quick that it would have been weird if he became David Hasselhoff like for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
And also had Kit with him.
Yeah.
So,
wait, would it have been weird?
Wait, would that have just been amazing?
He turns into like Pac-Man at one point during the like final battle.
And that's one of those things where if you told me that before the movie, like, hey, just to let you know, there's a scene where Peter Quill turns into Pac-Man, I would be like, wait, what? But by time you get to that point in the movie, I've laughed so much, I've totally bought in that like I'm cool with it.
Yeah, that I don't care if like that was the other point from one of those articles was like if Sylvester Stallone is a character in this movie, then who played Rocky in the Star-Lord's universe? Like, wouldn't he recognize him or something like that? And like, I'm like, that's just a little too much nitpicking.
Yeah,
you need to calm down.
You're not supposed to think about it that way.
Maybe it's like
maybe Drax doesn't want nipples.
No, maybe it's like remember Last Action Hero where they go to the Blockbuster and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and there's a cardboard cutout of Terminator 2, but it's Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah,
it's somebody else.
Dude, what if Arnold Schwarzenegger is Sylvester Stallone in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe?
Oh my God, podcast over. You blew my mind. In that same,
that's a whole other episode.
And that same Arnold Schwarzenegger is the same character from Predator and Terminator.
Yes, and it's my God, whoa.
Full circle.
Lining up, yeah.
It's all lining up.
A lot of momentum. I like it.
Cool. So I'm sure we'll be dissecting Guardians more in the next couple weeks as we.
I'm
gonna
go
again.
see it. I wanted to see it this morning, and I pooped out, but I wish I had.
You pooped.
I pooped. I did not.
I did not.
No, I miss it. I want to see it again. Every time I talk about it, like I just miss it, and I just want to go see it because it was so much fun. So
cool. I love it. Makes me smile, made me cry, made me laugh. And like I kind of said at the beginning, with these Marvel movies and with comic book movies in general, like the bar keeps getting raised, and they're just. My old opinion was I just want to have fun and not take it too seriously. But then I see Logan, and then I see Guardians or see Deadpool, and all these movies. They're taking it to another level where I'm like, these are good movies that have great actors, and now we're seeing more and more like. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has Michael Douglas and Kurt Russell, and it's only a matter of time before
Jeff Goldblum,
Al Pacino is in one of these movies, and we're getting what's her face, Kate Blanchett. Like, how long till we have Helen Mirren and what's her face? I can't think of her name. The most famous actress in the world.
Glenn Close? No, we already had Glenn Close.
No, what's her name? Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. There she is.
They're all. Who wouldn't want to be part of this universe? So it's very exciting stuff.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's coming.
He's going to play Sylvester Stallone.
There you go. Jacob Walsh, what else, man?
Dude, no, that's it, man. I want to see it again too. I just want to it's very enjoyable, man. It's just like it's like you were just saying, they've gotten to a point where like they're not just comic book movies anymore. These are legitimate movies. These are movies that can still have, they don't have to just be like popcorn, let's go waste 2 hours of our time. Right. They're like, these movies are getting to a point where they're becoming like emotional real movies. You know, they're like pieces of art. And Guardians was good. It was good. I want to see it again, and I want to know where that fucking toe came from.
Say that one more time. Was that? It cut off real quick. What did you say?
I said I want to know where that fucking toe came from.
Oh, yeah. We're never going to speak of it again.
Whose toe was that?
To me, so this is my theory on that. So what Jake's referencing is when Groot's bringing back all the stuff, at one point he brings a toe, and it's implied that he cut it off somebody. Now,
what if it was just laying around because they were doing all the tossing of everybody out of the spaceship anyway and possibly torturing?
No, because Rocket asks Yondu's like, you don't happen to have like
a refrigerator
full of toes around here. So if Groot cut off or bit off someone's toe, they would have been screaming and woke everybody up, right?
Got it.
Jake, do you think that's what would happen?
Are you insinuating that Groot murdered
unless
somebody?
Groot murdered them first.
Groot choked some guy out
with his vines,
murdered him, and then cut off his toe.
And then just cut his toe off. And he's like, oh, I guess
thinking that's what
this
Yondu
is probably
wanted.
what they wanted.
This is red.
This is probably exactly what they were looking for, because there's no way it's anything else. Real quick, we did not talk about arguably the most important
Easter egg
post-credits scene.
Reveal.
And we didn't really talk about the Sovereign a lot. I really liked the Sovereign.
Sovereign
they were cool. Yeah, I liked them. They were funny. It was cool. They had some good funny moments, and they looked creepy, and they looked. They just looked cool, being completely covered in gold.
Yeah, like Egyptian, like sarcophagus type stuff, like King Tut with like the blue and the gold striping inside of like the throne room and all that. And I loved it, like very pompous, narcissistic asshole, almost like commentary on like Hollywood in some way.
Yeah. Well, you said you thought it was commentary on millennials.
Yeah, there was because of like
they kind of look like
yes.
Because they were like little perfect specimen who like when they went and fought their battles, it was actually a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they didn't really have to do any work. I love the arcade noise, like do 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 do, like
right.
when they blow up. Yeah. It's so funny.
When they were giving that one guy shit, they're like, you suck.
So two of my biggest laughs in the movie had to do with the Sovereign. One was when they're rolling out the carpet. Dude,
I thought of that when I was rolling my blue yoga mat out today. I was like, dude, remember when that happened?
And they're like in the snow and they're approaching Yondu, and then, like that's just super funny. And then at the end, where Taserface he knows he's about to have his demise, and he's like, "Let it be known that the Guardians of the Galaxy were taken down by and she just laughs. She just laughs in his face.
She laughs at him.
Dude, it's so great.
So that was really good. But yeah, this post-credits scene where she reveals kind of the cocoon
it's like a sarcophagus.
Adam.
Right?
It's going to be Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock, yeah.
That's it.
Who I guess we originally saw some version of that nest or that cocoon in the collector's chambers.
Ooh, okay.
So Adam's a big character in the Marvel universe, kind of on equal ground of power, I think, as Thanos.
He can wield,
but he's more of a good guy, right? Mm-hmm. In the comics,
I think so. I don't know much about him, but I had understood that he was a good guy. But the way they do that, the way that post-credit scene, and it almost kind of sets him up as a bad guy because they're like, he can defeat the Guardians, and who knows, it might be one of those I can't remember the Vision. It might be a kind of Vision thing where he pops up and he's his own. He's his own being, but I don't know. I don't know much about him.
In the comics, he's the protector of the Soul Gem, which is the last Infinity Stone that we have not seen in the MCU yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
So just by looking at him, he's a big, beautiful blonde man. So let's start thinking about who we could cast in this role.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I don't think so. To me, it'd be funny if they just went a little silly with it and just went with like Owen Wilson or something like that. It's not going to be him.
Probably not.
Could you just imagine being like, wow, look, these Infinity Stones. This is cool, man. No, it won't be Owen Wilson, but it'll probably, I'm sure. I was trying to think like who's a big name that would just make sense, like John Hamm or something. I don't know.
Something crazy.
We'll let them do the casting.
Yeah, we'll let them do it.
But hey, if you're listening, if you have any ideas for who Adam Warlock should be, who should be playing, if you have the perfect
Dreamcast, send them our way.
Send us a Dreamcast.
Let's do it. So we want to play.
We want to play your Dreamcast. So maybe it's the kind of thing where eventually we need to see Adam Warlock team up with the Guardians and the Avengers to take down Thanos. And
maybe.
One thing that was really cool is like there's been some complaints in the past that Thanos is like this all-powerful being who's supposed to be very intimidating and scary and threatening to the whole universe. But he doesn't do anything. But he hasn't really came off that way. But they kind of make him seem pretty scary in this movie, and they never even show him.
They don't even show him. Yeah.
The trauma that Nebula and Gamora like endure by his hand and stuff it's a lot. So you get a feel for him.
You know, they've been setting it up for a long time, and we've got 2 Avengers movies and another Guardians movie. Not to mention, you know, Thor, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and who knows what down the road. So another Doctor Strange. So yeah, plenty more Marvel movies to come. I think we're 15 or 16 movies in, and Guardians was great, and we'll keep it going.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, cool. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Episode 50.
I'm exhausted. This was like a long, heavy episode. So yeah,
it was covered a lot of ground.
It was good.
Before we go, I do want to say you can always check us out on our site, yeshavesomecast.com.
Do it.
The best place to interact with us overall is going to be Facebook, facebook.com/yeshavesomecast, and then Twitter and Instagram at YHS Podcast. And please, if you download the show, if you play us off Facebook, that's great. If you find the links on the website, that's awesome. The absolute best way to get our show is to subscribe on iTunes or whatever your favorite podcast app is. And that way you automatically get the episodes and they pop right on your phone and you can listen to it.
They'll just pop in there.
They'll just pop in there.
That'd be cool.
And what else? And yeah, if you we ask this sometimes, and every podcast does, and but we do want to say it helps us a lot. If you could go to iTunes, search for Yes Have Some, leave us a 5-star review, let us know what you think of the show, and that stuff helps us a lot more than we can even stress. So, and we really appreciate you taking the time to do that.
And we're always stressed.
No matter what. And besides all that, we got Alien Covenant coming up. We've got posters and prints to hang up. We've got toys to buy.
I've got Stephen King books to buy.
We got Stephen King books to buy.
And read.
You bought a Stephen King book yesterday.
Was it? Yeah, I got from a Buick 8 from Barnes & Noble. It had a really cool poster in it, which had like a not live autograph on it, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
That's still cool, yeah.
It's still pretty dang cool.
Are they... I believe they're making Are they making a show of that? Or
Maybe.
no, I'm thinking of Mr. Mercedes.
Yeah.
He's got a couple car-related things.
Yeah.
Dude, he loves cars and baseball.
I don't think Mr. Mercedes has anything to do with a car, except for the last name, but I'm not 100% sure. I will say, from a Buick 8, is that what it's called?
Uh-huh.
Christopher Stewart of the Interdimensional Crossrip, Ghostbusters podcast.
Highly recommended it.
He read that, and he highly recommended it. So
cool.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
And you posted the picture on Instagram, Abby, and someone said that was their favorite Stephen King book.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I just finished, just really quick before we get out of here, I just finished Christine. I just finished reading Christine.
Damn.
Cool.
Dude, that book's amazing. So we're just going to go, we're going to see how many killer car Stephen King books we got.
I finished off a couple Christines in my day. I killed them, is what I'm saying.
Whoa, like Baby Groot.
Boy.
I did not
cute.
kill or finish off or finish on any
No.
Christines. What up?
Whoa!
It's later in the podcast.
It's after hours.
God.
It's Stephen King.
There might have been a Christina. I don't really remember. But
Christine's my middle name.
there you go.
There you go, guys.
That is
That's just fun.
That is your middle name.
Yeah, Abigail Christine.
Jake, what's your middle name? Salem's Lot?
Oddly enough, it's Christopher.
Oh.
So
I didn't
hey,
even know
Craig,
that.
maybe you have finished off a couple of Christines.
Whoa. They're married now. It's fine.
That's okay. My middle name's 11-year-olds having an orgy in the sewer.
Whoa. That's good. Oh, I worry about you. That's fine.
The last 5 minutes of I want a compilation of the last
It's
5
like
minutes.
we just
of every
all
episode.
race to the finish of like making the most inappropriate joke ever. It's good.
Yeah.
We gotta
Fun
earn
race.
that explicit rating on iTunes.
You gotta earn it. Please
Okay.
stop swearing. Love Emma Stone.
Oh god. Inside jokes. Okay, cool.
Solid.
So, you guys have some podcast. Episode 55. We'll be back next week.
56.
With 56.
We're getting up there.
If you entered the contest for the Lego Firehouse, check our Facebook page sometime soon, in the next day or two. We'll have the winner up there, and we'll get you all squared away with your Lego Ghostbusters Firehouse, courtesy of the Yes Have Some podcast.
You.
And we'll be doing some more contests and stuff. We got a lot of exciting stuff planned for the summer.
Star Wars. Anybody want a 40th anniversary mug? Or an oven mitt? Or a beach ball? We're going to be giving those away, so stay tuned.
We're not giving away that beach ball. That's a cool ball.
No, that's cool. We blew it up. We put our mouths on it, so you don't want it.
Yeah. Jacob Walsh, Abigail Gardner, Craig Goldberg, tuning in, signing out.
Going down to the sewers.
There we go. Yes, I have some podcasts. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is here. It's out. Go see it.
It's amazing.
We'll see it more. And
Get the chia pets.
there we go. Everybody have a good night.
We are Groot.
Yep.
I am Groot.
I'm Groot.
Also,
Not
Catherine
boring.
Hansen, if you're listening. Our
We
friend
are
Catherine.
so jealous of Catherine's bedroom.
No, leave it at that. No more.
Leave it at that.
No more.
Nothing else.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Good night, y'all.
Bye, guys.